Forget everything you thought you knew about women's basketball. One player is changing the game forever, and her name is Caitlin Clark. She's not just a basketball player. She's a phenomenon, a game changer, and the driving force behind what's being called the Caitlin Clark effect. This effect isn't just about her on the court. It's about how she's transforming the entire landscape of women's sports. From shattering attendance records to revolutionizing TV viewership, Clark has become a household name, inspiring a new generation of fans and athletes alike. Her impact is so profound that even the WNBA's media rights deal has seen a massive boost, thanks to her star power. So, buckle up and get ready to dive into the story of how one woman is reshaping the future of women's basketball. So, what exactly is the Caitlin Clark effect? It's the massive boost in popularity, attendance, and viewership that women's basketball has experienced since Clark burst onto the scene. During her college career at Iowa, her games were must-watch events, breaking records left and right. The 2023 National Championship game, where her team faced LSU, drew 9.9 million viewers. That's more than many NBA playoff games. The atmosphere was electric, with fans from across the country tuning in to see Clark's dazzling performance. In 2024, her Elite Eight game against LSU had 12.3 million viewers, making it the most-watched women's regular season game on record. The Final Four game against UConn drew 14.2 million viewers, and the national championship game against South Carolina had a staggering 18.9 million viewers, making it the most-watched women's college basketball game in history. This game even outdrew the men's national championship game that year, which had 14.8 million viewers. The excitement was palpable as fans witnessed history in the making. Now, in the WNBA, the effect continues. The 2024 WNBA draft, where Clark was the top pick, averaged 2.45 million viewers, the most in history and the highest since 2000. Her regular season debut with the Indiana Fever was the most-watched WNBA game since 2002, attracting 1.5 million viewers. And her game against the New York Liberty set a new record on ABC with 1.71 million viewers. It's clear that wherever Clark goes, fans follow. But that wasn't the whole story. Let's dive into how she got here. Caitlin Clark's journey to stardom started at the University of Iowa. As a freshman in 2020, she made an immediate impact, leading the NCAA Division I in scoring with an average of 26.6 points per game and earning All-American honors. One of her standout games was against Nebraska, where she scored 46 points and had 10 assists, becoming the first Division I player to have 45 points and 10 assists in a single game. The crowd was in awe as she effortlessly maneuvered the ball and sank shot after shot from beyond the arc. Her sophomore year was even more impressive. She became the first woman to lead Division I in both points and assists in a single season, averaging 27.0 points and 8.0 assists per game. She was named a unanimous first-team All-American again. In a game against Michigan State, she recorded 30 points and 11 assists, showcasing her all-around skills. The arena was packed, with fans cheering every time she touched the ball. Her junior year saw her lead Iowa to the national championship game, where she set tournament records for points and three-pointers. In that game against LSU, she scored 30 points and had 8 assists, but Iowa fell short, losing 102-85. Despite the loss, Clark's performance captivated the nation, and her popularity skyrocketed. Fans across the country were talking about her, and her jersey sales went through the roof. Her senior year was nothing short of legendary. She broke the NCAA Division I all-time scoring record, previously held by Pete Maravich, with a total of 3,951 points. One of the most memorable moments was when she surpassed Maravich's record with a long-range three-pointer against Michigan. The crowd erupted in celebration, and the moment was broadcasted on national television. Her games were sellouts, with Iowa selling out all home games for the first time in history. A preseason exhibition game at Iowa's football stadium drew 55,646 fans, setting a new record for women's basketball attendance. During her college career, Clark set numerous records, including the most points in a single season, the most three-pointers in a season, and the most assists in a season. She was a two-time National Player of the Year and led her team to 2 consecutive Final Four appearances. When she declared for the WNBA draft, there was no doubt she would be the #1 pick. The Indiana Fever selected her, and since then, she's been the face of the league, attracting fans and media attention like never before. And what happened next would shock everyone. Her impact on the pros was even bigger. Let's look at some hard numbers to understand the extent of her impact. In college, her presence led to record-breaking TV viewership for women's basketball games. The 2023 national championship game between Iowa and LSU drew 9.9 million viewers, which was a significant increase from previous years. In 2024, her Elite Eight game against LSU had 12.3 million viewers, making it the most-watched women's regular season game on record. The Final Four game against UConn drew 14.2 million viewers, and the national championship game against South Carolina had a staggering 18.9 million viewers, making it the most-watched women's college basketball game in history. This game even outdrew the men's national championship game that year, which had 14.8 million viewers. Sold-out stadiums and increased attendance at both home and away games were common during her college career. For instance, when Iowa played at Wisconsin, the arena had 14,252 fans, setting a record for the Badgers. At Ohio State, the game drew 18,660 fans, another record. Her final home game at Iowa was a sellout, with 15,056 fans in attendance. In the WNBA, the Fever's games have seen a significant increase in attendance. A study estimated that Clark would bring an additional 26,000 fans to Fever games, contributing over $2.4 million to Central Indiana's economy, with a total impact of $36.5 million. Specific games against the Los Angeles Spark, New York Liberty, and Seattle Storm have set new attendance records for those teams. For example, the game against the New York Liberty at Gainbridge Fieldhouse had 17,735 fans, the highest attendance for a WNBA game in Indiana since the league's inception. The Washington Mystics moved their game against the Fever to Capital One Arena, which has a capacity of 20,333, and it was sold out, marking the highest attendance for a WNBA game in Washington since 2007. The final game of the season against the Mystics drew 20,711 fans, setting a new WNBA attendance record. The Chicago Sky moved their game to the United Center, which has a capacity of over 20,000 from their usual smaller arena, drawing 18,017 fans, setting a new record for the Sky. The Atlanta Dream moved their game to State Farm Arena, which has a capacity of 17,608, and it was sold out. Overall, the Fever's average attendance this season was 16,698 fans per game, leading the league and being the first team to draw more than 300,000 fans in a season. This is a 300% increase from last season's average attendance of 4,067 fans per game. The total attendance for the Fever in 2024 was 643,343 fans, which is the highest in WNBA history. These numbers are indisputable evidence of Clark's star power. But some say she's not the only factor. Let's address the doubters. Now, there are always going to be haters and doubters, people who might downplay her impact or attribute the league's growth to other factors. One such voice is Angel Reese, who recently stated, "The reason why we watching women's basketball, it's not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that." While it's true that the WNBA has many talented players, the facts show that Clark is the primary driver of this current surge in popularity. To put it into perspective, when the Fever play, the average attendance is 16,698 fans, compared to an average of 7,645 fans when Clark is not playing. That's a 105% increase in attendance when she's on the court. Moreover, 14 out of the 16 most-watched WNBA games this season have involved the Fever, with Clark playing in them. The teams themselves are recognizing this by moving to larger venues specifically for her games. For example, The Chicago Sky moved their game against the Fever to the United Center, which has a capacity of over 20,000 from their usual smaller arena. The Washington Mystics moved their game to Capital One Arena. The Atlanta Dream moved their game to State Farm Arena. If other players were having a similar impact, we'd see teams making similar moves for their games. But that's not the case. It's clear that Clark is the main attraction, and her presence is what's filling these stadiums. Angel Reese, while a talented player in her own right, doesn't command the same level of attention. Her games without Clark don't see the same spike in attendance or viewership. For instance, when the Sky played without the Fever, their attendance was significantly lower compared to when Clark was in town. Even WNBA stars like Taurasi have acknowledged Clark's impact, saying, "What Caitlyn's been able to do in her short career so far has been nothing short of remarkable." So, to the haters and doubters, it's time to accept reality. Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA, and her impact is unmatched. Beyond the court, Caitlin Clark's influence extends to various aspects of the sport and society. She has become a role model for young girls and a symbol of empowerment. Her success has inspired many to pursue their dreams in sports and beyond. Moreover, her popularity has led to increased sponsorship opportunities and endorsement deals, not just for her, but for other WNBA players as well. Brands are recognizing the value of associating with the league, thanks to the attention Clark has brought. For example, Nike has signed Clark to a multi-year endorsement deal, and other players like Angel Reese have also secured significant sponsorships. This trend is expected to continue as the league grows in popularity. Additionally, Clark's presence has led to more media coverage for the WNBA, with journalists and commentators giving the league more attention than ever before. This increased visibility helps in attracting new fans and sponsors. The WNBA's new media rights deal, worth $2.2 billion over 11 years, is a direct result of this increased popularity, largely driven by Clark's star power. This influx of money will benefit the entire league, leading to higher player salaries and better resources for all teams. So, in many ways, Caitlin Clark is not just transforming the game on the court, but also off it, creating a more vibrant and lucrative environment for women's basketball. Furthermore, Caitlin Clark has proven to be a leader on and off the court. As a rookie in the WNBA, she has taken on a mentorship role, guiding younger players and helping them adjust to professional basketball. Her work ethic and dedication to the game are infectious, motivating her teammates to perform at their best. For the Indiana Fever, her presence has transformed the team's dynamics. The Fever, which struggled in previous seasons, now has a renewed sense of purpose and competitiveness, thanks to Clark's leadership. Her ability to bring out the best in her teammates is a key factor in the team's success. Moreover, Clark is actively involved in community outreach programs, using her platform to promote education and empowerment among young girls. She frequently visits schools and participates in charity events, inspiring the next generation of athletes and leaders. Through her foundation, the Caitlin Clark Foundation, she supports initiatives focused on education, nutrition, and sports, aiming to improve the lives of youth and their communities. One notable partnership is with the Coralville Community Food Pantry, where she has helped raise over $100,000 to combat food insecurity. In summary, Caitlin Clark is not just a talented basketball player. She's a leader, a mentor, and a philanthropist who is making a difference both on and off the court. So, what does this mean for the future of the WNBA? With Clark leading the charge, the league is poised for significant growth. Increased attendance and viewership lead to more lucrative TV deals, higher sponsorship revenues, and, ultimately, better salaries for players. Already, the WNBA has secured a $2.2 billion media rights agreement, a massive increase from previous deals, likely influenced by Clark's draw. This influx of money will benefit the entire league, not just Clark or the Fever. Looking ahead, as Clark continues to play and potentially achieves more milestones, her influence will only grow. The WNBA can expect continued high attendance and viewership, leading to further financial stability and growth for the league. There's even talk of expanding the league to new cities, thanks to the increased interest. Additionally, other players in the league are benefiting from the spotlight that Clark has brought. More fans are tuning in to watch women's basketball, which means more exposure for all players. This could lead to more endorsement deals and higher salaries across the board. Caitlin Clark has not just played basketball, she has transformed it. Her journey from a college sensation to a professional game changer has been nothing short of extraordinary. Through her unmatched skills, leadership, and charisma, she has breathed new life into women's basketball, making it more popular, more watched, and more respected than ever before. The numbers don't lie. Record-breaking attendance, soaring TV ratings, and a media rights deal that speaks volumes about her impact. But beyond the statistics, Clark has inspired a generation of young athletes and fans, proving that women's sports can captivate audiences and break barriers. As we look to the future, one thing is certain. The Caitlin Clark effect is here to stay, and women's basketball will never be the same again. So, to all who have doubted or downplayed her role, it's time to acknowledge the truth. Caitlin Clark is the catalyst for a new era in women's sports, and we're all better for it.